Hi traders, welcome to another new session. If you're new here, my name is Farida. I'm a new forex trader. I'm going to be sharing trades I take with you on this platform. Let's hop into the charts. On this day, I entered GBP sell position. Now you guys remember how I usually explain the entry model. You'll find your break of structure, which is this area here. This area here is my break of structure to the downside, and then I drew the from the topmost greenish candle. Basically, from the topmost bullish candle, you draw your zone and wait for price to test that zone. This is my topmost bullish candle. Then I extend the zone. Okay, and if I extend the zone, you can see price tested the zone around here. Okay, now since price tested the zone around here, ideally you can go to your 15 minutes time frame to look for an entry. So let's go to the 15 minutes time frame. You can see that this zone here I drew is my 15 minutes time frame zone after price has tapped into the 1 hour supply. This was the last candle that tapped into the zone. I entered at the close of candle after price had tested the supply area. So here was my entry, and I targeted the last swing low. Okay, in this case, this is my last swing low, so that was my target. Now I entered a second position afterwards because I saw this change of character move here, and I decided to draw another supply area from the 15 minutes time frame. The price tested it here, and I got in another entry around here and took the market further down, and we can see how that played out. Okay, price played out nicely to the downside. This is another entry on AUD USD. I drew my breakout structure area from here. After marking a breakout structure area, what's the next thing? You draw your demand zone. Your demand zone is your last bearish candle before the breakout structure moved to the upside. And in this case, you can clearly see that my last bearish candle is this candle. So I'm going to draw my zone from this candle and extend it outwards. Now after price tapped into the demand zone, I entered here, and my target was supposed to be here. Nonetheless, I had to exit this position, first of all because it was getting too late, so I exited it halfway. We usually see that on the chart. Sometimes price may not hit your 100% take profit target. It can be because of other things such as this opposite supply level. You can see this is supply level resting here. So sometimes price can react to the supply level and take off in the opposite direction. Nonetheless, I had already exited my position here. That's why I usually see sometimes price can be 90% full take profit. It's okay to close your full position. You must not wait for 100%, because had it been okay, I was being strong-headed, I would say price must hit my 100% take profit. I would have taken back all that I had given to the market and plus my stop loss. So you see that it is fine when price is 70% or above. You need to train your mind to accept that. Some days you walk away with more from the market, some days you walk away with less from the market, and you are good to go. Okay, you will be satisfied. All right. From this chart, we can see this is also a pretty straightforward trade. This happened on the 15 minutes time frame. So first you draw your breakout structure, in this case breakout structure to the upside, and then what? You map out your demand zone, which is this. Basically the last bearish candle that created the breakout structure move, this red candle here, you draw it, you extend it, wait for price to test the demand zone with confirmation. Ideally, since this was the last bearish candle, ideally entry should be here, which is how I got in. I put my stop loss just below that candle that tapped into the demand zone, and I targeted a 1-to-1, and that played out nicely. Another example of a similar entry on Euro CHF, we have this breakout structure area marked up here. As you can see, it's a breakout structure to the upside. What next? You draw your demand zone, which is the last bearish candle, which is from the last bearish candle. Extend it outwards. Wait for price to test into that demand zone, which is this candle here. Ideally, you should wait for a close of candle confirmation. I think after seeing the close of candle confirmation, I wanted to see more, because if I had entered from here, the risk to reward ratio would have been a bit on the negative side, because you'd see my risk to reward ratio wouldn't have made sense. So I had to okay, so I had to leave that, and I waited for price a little bit further down into the area, and that's why I was able to target this risk to reward comfortably. Okay, was it a 1-to-2? No, it was a 1-to-1, 1-to-1 plus, which is also fine. And you see why it is ideal to stick to your setup. Shortly after my 1-to-1 was hit, price reversed, and had it been I was holding the trade longer, I would have been taken out in loss. Okay, so similar rules apply. Valid breakout structure, your demand zone or supply zone depending on the direction of the market, and then you wait for price to tap into your supply or demand zone with confirmation, and you take off.